Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been telling me to use the Ethernet cable. It's a lot faster. So we're gonna try that now. I'm gonna try the Ethernet cable. I'm gonna see if it makes a difference. Oh. Wow, so this is just showing something here. One of the things for encoding is automatic PDC when rolling backwards. And that's helpful in a situation like this. And I just give you a kind of a poor acting example. But one of the things, if you're sitting at a stoplight and you may be, say for example, I'm sitting here, PDC is off, and I'm sitting here like, you know, whatever, I'm at the stoplight, and you know, with these cars, you have the X6M, X5M, even the F80s. I'm not sure if I might decode that too, but when they're at rest, they have the ability to be in neutral when you're in drive. So, you know, they don't creep like a normal automatic. So technically I would have to brake, it would creep. But what this does is it behaves like a manual. So right now, if I put the brake, the car does a 2-second brake hold, starts rolling back. But now, you see here, the PDC kicked in because it already sensed I was rolling backwards. And if without that, what would happen is if, yeah, you may get a sense, you may know what's going on. I may be like, oh yeah, I know I'm rolling backwards. But those 1-2 chances where you're rolling back slowly, you don't know about it, you don't want to roll back hit a car. And this is a way that if I start to roll back inadvertently and intentionally, it automatically fires at the PDC, the sensors come alive. So now if I'm going to hit something, it's going to sound an alarm, okay? Because the sensors only work when you're driving forward, where they'll activate when they get in something with close proximity. All right, now like I said, these aren't proximity activation for the rear. It only works when you're rolling backwards, and then it's going to turn on no matter what. So in this example, right now we could be at a traffic light, but my foot comes up the brake, I start rolling backwards, not realizing I'm rolling backwards, and maybe like, you know, looking something, changing something here, going through my iDrive settings, and before you know it, bump. I didn't roll back, hit the car, didn't know it. Because the auto PDC for proximity only activates on the front, and that's only for driving forward to something. But if you're rolling backwards, that's not going to work. Only time it comes on one backwards if you actually select the reverse gear. That's the only time where you're going to get it, is when you select the reverse gear. So this way is sort of, think of it like a extra protection. You'll never know it's there, except those 1 or 2 times where you might be rolling back for a second. It takes maybe a second for it to activate. I mean, really, it will protect you from, I think it's a really good thing to activate. So let's show you how to do that now. I'm gonna use the cable. Good, everybody says try the cable. I'm gonna see how much faster it is loading the modules. Screen recording comes on. BimmerCode. Settings. Ethernet cable. Done. Connect. Well, you're not gonna believe this. Had everything ready to go. Everything was going. I was editing my stuff, and for one, my camera died. So I was like, no worries. I got my GoPro back up here. The GoPro died. They died because of the heat, and you probably could tell I was sweating, and I had the air conditioning on low, obviously the fan speed on low, so I wouldn't, you know, have the sound of the air conditioning drowning out my voice. But it was super hot that day, and the cameras just couldn't handle the heat. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to reshoot this. But you know, it's kind of the process of you know, being a YouTuber. You have to deal with it. And it's one of the issues sometimes we come across. So what I'm gonna do is plug my Ethernet OBD2 in, and I'm gonna have to pretend that I didn't do this the first time. But let's get this going. Make sure it shows Ethernet in there, and then you change your settings on your BimmerCode. I'm start my screen recording now. Hopefully it records this time. So hit the gear, checked where it says adapter. I got the Ethernet cable. Usually I have the V-Peak. And like I said, someone told me it's faster. I think two people told me to use the cable, and they're absolutely right. This just makes coding, I mean, this thing is just rapid. Look how fast it is. I mean, this thing is super fast. I'm still impressed. I've been dealing with that all this time. I mean, just for fun, I'm gonna hit the body domain controller. That's usually the module that takes the longest. Watch how fast it pulls. Boom, done. Amazing. So appreciate everyone helping me out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to park distance control. We're gonna load that data up real quick. And what this does is going to say where you see activate PDC when rolling backwards. You're gonna select that. And you're just going to hit active, come back, and then press the code and code it. That's all you need to do. Now, when you're at a stoplight, and you'll never notice it except those rare times where you may be in drive and the car starts to roll backwards, is where it will kick in. You do have that 2-second brake hold there, and also you do have the button where you can press auto hold. But unfortunately, you have to press that button each time you start the vehicle. And I don't do it. I do it every once in a while. Like if I say, you know what, I need to just have it hold for me. You know, I go to a touchless car wash sometimes. And long line, because he has to watch each car individually at a time. And that's about a 6-minute wait. So I'll sit there and auto hold comes in there because I can't put it in park. You know, so that's where I use that. Another feature I want to show you guys is when you go up to your head unit. Go to your head unit. Click that. And what I did was I hit the activate the turn signals in your heads-up display. Now, if you don't have heads-up display, obviously it's not available to you, but if you have a heads-up display, HUD, you'll see this. And it works. I mean, I see the turn signals there. I was going to run with it for a while to see what I think of it. It's good to, you know, I mean, why not? Because a lot of times I'm looking at my HUD anyway, so I'm not looking down at the turn signal. But I don't know, for those of us BMW drivers who do use our signals, you know, I know that some of us is you know, you got to pay extra for it, but think of it as a way of coding our turn signals into the car. All right. But anyway, thanks for watching, and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And one last thing I want to add. If you want the cable and the adapter, I will link this in the description. I've tried other adapters before in the past. They didn't last me no more, especially when I do the tuning on the car. They didn't last me no more than like a couple months, and they died. This one has been going so far. Hopefully they're still out there on Amazon. If it is, I'll put a link in the description for you to have.